Nick here, and welcome back to my Star Wars Rebels episode review. My thoughts on this episode of Star Wars Rebels held the Wynkahthu Job, and I'm finally back to watching Star Wars Rebels again. I apologize for anyone who was watching my videos and didn't know why there was, a gap between now and then. It's just really difficult for me to watch the show live on Saturday nights. I've said this before in my other reviews. I thought it was a big mistake to move it to a Saturday night, just because it makes, for me, it makes reviewing it nearly impossible to, especially on nights where it's the weekend where I'm spending time with my family or time with my girlfriend or whatever. I'm not able to really do it live, and most of my videos, even from when I was still watching and reviewing the show, at least somewhat consistently, it was still like the next day or a couple of days later, because it's just having the show on a weekend is just really problematic, and it's just, I think it's a mistake to do it during the weekend. So I think it was better when it was during the week, because it's just most shows are on during the weeks. I don't understand why they moved it to the weekend. So I apologize for this huge gap in time. So I'm finally caught up. I'm not caught up yet. So I finally watched this the following episode after my last review, which was the Iron Squadron. I have not watched a single episode of Rebels since. So here I am back to reviewing the show. And this episode, for anyone who has seen any of my episode reviews or even my trailer reaction to review for the season, Hondo is literally the worst character in the show. I am not afraid to say that. A lot of people get mad at me for saying it. Hondo is literally, he's almost as bad as Jar Jar Binks for me. I don't understand why people like him. I don't understand why Ezra feels the need to trust him. And Ezra, I feel like whenever Hondo's around, Ezra acts like an idiot. Ezra is like, oh, he screwed us over, but he's okay. He doesn't lie. He's a good guy. Like, no, Hondo is a terrible person. He's selfish. He does not really care for anyone but himself. I don't know why Ezra feels the need to trust him, or why anyone on the team trusts him. I don't understand this. And when we have whole episodes dedicated to the team working with him, it's like, why? This guy has screwed you over time and time again. I don't understand why they keep bringing this character back. He does nothing for the show. He does absolutely nothing. I understand because it's a Disney XD show, so they have to cater to kids at some point, and just these are more like colorful and cartoony kind of characters. So in that aspect, I get it. But just like, this is Star Wars, man. Like, this is like that. He's just a terrible character. He's a terrible character. And then the guy with them, as Mortigan, it's just, they're both awful. Having this whole episode dedicated to them, and I don't know, this episode was a bad episode to come back to for me, just because I don't like the Hondo character at all, and now that he have a whole episode centered on him and doing this thing on this planet, trying to get the proton bombs from this cargo ship, I hated it. I absolutely hated it, because it makes Ezra look like a weaker character, because he's trusting this guy who is constantly causing the crew problems, and Ezra does not get it. And that's where, like, Ezra is really, he's such a hit or miss character for me. It's just like, he makes such stupid decisions. I can't fathom why he even trusts Hondo at all. Why anyone trusts Hondo? And I can't. And that's the thing, like, up until like recently, at least when I was watching the show, just Ezra was finally starting to come around for me, and he's starting to make better decisions, and they're starting to do more interesting things with this character. And then in this episode, he gets mad that Zeb's the one in charge on this mission, and it's like, dude, get over yourself, you immature. I'm sorry if I sound so negative today. It's just, this episode it showed a weaker Ezra. It showed a character who I hate, a couple of characters I hate. But I did like, in this episode, seeing Zeb be the one to step up and lead the team on this mission. And because I feel like I like seeing more of Zeb. He was a character I wasn't sure how I felt about him in the beginning, but he really is a character that's really come around to me. I like Zeb more than I like Ezra. I like literally everyone else in the crew except Ezra, because Ezra just like when I start to like him, he does something stupid, like in this episode. He whines about not being leader, then he whines about the team not trusting Hondo when they have more than enough reason to. And that's why, like, in this episode, Hera was like the only voice of reason in this episode. She's the one who's like, why do we even need to trust this guy? And Kane was like, yeah, let's just get it over with. But I mean that's where just like I don't know. I just wish the crew makes more decisions and know not to trust Hondo. I mean, yeah, there were proton bombs and they were useful for the rebellion, but to me, that's just not enough to just. You could have had someone else come in and been that kind of that vehicle to get not like a literal vehicle, but he could have been like someone else could have been that reason for them to go get the proton bombs. It didn't have to be stupid Hondo. So this episode was pretty cut and dry. I mean, it felt like it was more of a filler episode than anything. Or a couple of episodes this season are slowly starting to feel that way. But I know that as the season starts to pick up, I know there's a lot of good episodes coming that I haven't seen yet. You know, whether it's Ghost of Geonosis or the Dark Saber stuff and all that stuff coming up. I am looking forward to that. It's just, this episode was just not. It wasn't an episode that I really liked or cared for. It's going to be a forgettable episode in the long run. But I wanted to at least finally get back to reviewing the show. But again, I do like some of these episodes where it's just them need to go get something to help them in the battle against the Empire. I think those episodes, sometimes while there are filler, and sometimes they can be fun. And there are some fun aspects to this episode. The action is always good. The fights against those Century droids that were awoken by as Mordigan. And I like seeing the other droid. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. That was kind of led them to. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He was okay. Chopper, when he's like when they're trying to get off the cargo ship, and Chopper's like, every man for himself, and they're just like, you're a droid. That was a fun little line. I like that a little bit. But overall, just this episode really just the Hondo stuff annoyed me. The Ezra stuff annoyed me. I did like seeing, you know, Zeb being the one to step up, and not that he was necessarily his choice. Hera was the one who appointed him to be leader of that mission. But I did like seeing him in that position for this episode, and I do like seeing a lot more of Zeb. I just want this show to be more focused. Get rid of Hondo. He's a useless character. There's absolutely nothing for the story. And stop making Ezra so stupid sometimes. It just sometimes I'm mad that he's the lead of the show, because he's just he makes so many stupid decisions, and I can't. It's hard for me to get invested into the episode when I'm just like, oh, come on, man. And he's doing all these stupid and immature things, and I get it, he's a teenager and stuff, but at a point you gotta be like, come on, just give us. And I know it's an animated show, but give us some like actual real characters. I don't know. So those are my thoughts on the Wynkahthu Job. What did you guys think? Send your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll be trying to get as much of these episodes and reviews done today as much as I can. I do have work later today, so hopefully I can at least get a few of these episodes in. So I'll see you guys in a little bit, and thank you guys for watching, and until next time, have a good one.